Hello everyone, it's me, Demetrius Villa from the ManlySpirit channel. I'm here today with a very special guest. You may know him as ManlySpirit on Reddit and some other places also too. This is Ivan, the guy who created the MAnGA versus Hillary Clinton. If you see this comic, I'm also putting it here as well. You can see some clips of it. I'll put it up on the channel and also put a link to it as well so you can see it. How you doing, Ivan?
I'm doing alright, man. How you doing?
All right, so far so good. So tell us a little bit about yourself and when you got into art and politics.
Well, let's see. I mean, myself, I'm actually Mexican. Funny enough, most people actually might not know that.
Oh
I'm
wow.
Spanish born, like Spanish blood, but born in Mexico. And I was raised in the States. I lived there for around 12 years. Funny enough, actually, I lived there as a legal immigrant for 12 years. So I mean, I had a lot of experience with politics, like with all that stuff, because I was always like hopeful for like, because I mean, we were kind of waiting for the citizenship. We were legally registered for it, and
Right.
it never came. So I was because of that. I always had a very keen interest in politics. Since when I left the country, I was very disappointed with kind of how things worked out in the United States. Growing up as a teenager, I was very much like punk rock and that kind of stuff. But I was like that. In fact, when I moved to Spain, which is where I live now, I came actually here to study university, and I wanted to study political science, getting into this international relations. But then eventually I just gave up on that and started to like study art and stuff, because it was more of my calling.
Right. And then after that, like when did you get inspired to do this particular piece, this Trump versus Hillary piece, where I guess the battling in the second debate, and it turns into this whole Dragon Ball Z JoJo sort of thing. And I love the whole I love the whole JoJo thing, especially the JoJo pose that he does. That
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
intense.
yeah. Well, I mean, like the true inspiration for the comic, really, like, when I was like, I'm gonna do it, was literally after the second debate. I watched the second debate, and it was such a turn of events that it really felt like it would make a great little comic thing. But I'd been toying around with the idea of making like a little comic out of the whole Donald Trump thing, like way before. I told my friend about it. Like, we should do a comic about Trump and stuff, because me and my friend had been planning on making comics for quite a while, and we had a few projects kind of like ready to go for around like March, June, kind of get started on that. And then to kind of get my feet wet with the whole comic making stuff, I decided to just do a little fun little thing about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. After the second debate, I just, what I'm going to do is just for practice, kind of get my feet wet with the whole thing, and learn to make comics, for fun, and see what happens. Maybe get some followers, on Tumblr or whatever for future projects. And it just blew up. It was like, oh man, like I was not expecting that at all. It was more of me just having fun kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of things like that happen also too. Is like you get into it a little bit and then all of a sudden just explodes. Especially when it's something as cool as this, because like I've seen a whole lot of political comics and stuff like that also too. Of course, the Ben Garrisons are in a whole other level of themselves, but this is probably like one of the best ones that I've seen out of probably this whole entire election cycle. This is probably like the best work of fiction I've seen so far, and it's not even fiction. It's like the memes have transcended into reality. That's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I spent a lot of time on 4chan and stuff, so I'm very well aware of all the memes that kind of get passed around there and stuff. Especially like once the election started happening, I started kind of going to poll a bit more, seeing what they were saying. And I kind of came very aware of like all the different memes that were like very popular at the time. So it kind of helped write the whole thing.
Yeah, and I mean, so right now you're living in Spain, right?
Yeah, I live in Madrid actually.
Oh, okay, wow. So yeah, I have family that's from Spain because I'm Hispanic myself. So I mean, I have some roots to the country. I've never been there before. But how is everything's going in Spain, especially after the election? What do they think about Trump and the whole political direction the world's going?
It's funny. I mean, of course, like the media always pushes these ideas. Like, the liberal media has a reach everywhere. Like if the liberal media's narrative is that this is the way it is, that Trump is a bad person, this and that, then even though perhaps in Spain the media is having investment in telling lies, like in the USA, it still gets passed around. So people in Spain kind of believe that, oh no, Trump is this, Trump is that. But I mean, over here, I teach English, so I kind of use that as because I mean, I'm a private English teacher, so I make my money through just kind of conversational classes. So I normally like with my students, I show them videos of like different things, whatever I find interesting. So recently we talked about Donald Trump, and I kind of turned a few of them become like pro-Trump supporters. Like one of my students actually, we normally meet at Starbucks, to have class, and she kind of like she became like a Trump supporter behind like her parents' back, whatever. Like, oh, like, I mean, she's like 40 something. She's a pilot, you know, but like she lives with her parents now because that's Spain, you know, that's the way it is here over here. And she's like, oh yeah, I was telling my dad the other day, like, I want Trump to win. He's like, what? Like, how could you? Like, you know, it's very funny. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's like in the United States. You know, the narrative is global reaching. You know, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing also too as well. There's a lot of millennials that are getting into this whole Trump thing, especially with, oh, one thing is the memes, but like another I guess is like the whole rebelliousness of it also too as well. I mean, that's another thing that we've seen with this comic is that, a lot of people that love anime and stuff like that, they're all, we're all in the same age group of this millennial generation. I hate the word millennials, but I mean that's, it's just easier to get that across than just saying, yeah, millennials, just to, one word, just to say it out. But, I mean, do you see right now, like, the future now, especially with, the artwork coming in, the memes, and the whole rebelliousness of this whole nationalist movement, do you see more of a younger generation now getting into the whole Trump phenomenon?
100%. There's definitely some sort of uprising. Like it is kind of what I read in the comic, and even Trump himself said it. This is more of a movement. We're seeing like a movement happening all around the world, where people are very fed up with the leftist narrative. You know, which I mean, like personally, my own political views are more left leaning. I've always been more toward left, like a middle left. You know,
right.
But it just gets in hand with all with how crazy the SJW stuff and the radical feminism got. That people just got really fed up. I mean, myself included. I mean, there's no way I can stand next to that kind of crap, you know. So when Trump kind of came out and started to preach, because I mean, the reason why I was very leftist was because I was very anti-establishment, because when Bush was in power, Bush in the right wing was the establishment. The Republican Party was the rich white folk, only for the rich, and the Democrats were supposed to be for the the people who were less privileged, the poor, etc., the minorities, and so on and so forth. But that turned out to not be true when Obama took power, Right. So when Trump kind of came out and started to speak out against the establishment, it definitely brought that spark of like, oh, like maybe we can have a change, because Barack Obama, for example, he was all pro TTIP and all this other stuff, and that really, really upset me because I mean, support Obama during his first race against McCain, I thought he would have made a good president, but his entire hope and change stuff, it was all bullshit, that's how it goes. So it really disappointed me, So when Trump kind of came out and I noticed the guy was like on his own campaign and doing his own thing and really being like, he was originally independent, and doing his own thing, it really said, like this guy might just have a chance to do it, I mean, I guess we'll see when it happens, but I mean, it definitely seemed to strike, at least on a personal level, that he was part of something bigger, not just a guy running for president, but a guy trying to run against, the corrupt political establishment, not just in the USA, but around the world, and an uprising toward the leftist narrative, of political correctness and social justice and all this stuff that, I mean, I and many people of my generation have gone completely fed up with,
Yeah, and no, it's understandable also too as well. I mean, you don't know how many I just wear like, simple Trump shirt over to school, whatever, when I go to university. And, I see a lot of these people, a lot of them used to be former Bernie Sanders supporters. And that was, something that also pushed them as well, that whole anti-establishment thing. And, they come up to me and, compliment on the shirt or compliment on, about Trump winning. And then they say, you know what, I looked into this whole, this whole leftist narrative that we're listening to, in this mainstream narrative for the past 8 years now, more 16. I mean, if you count it like, with some people saying that it's, what's going on since Bush. But, putting that in together, it was just like, all the dominoes start to fall down. And, for lack of a better word, it's just, been huge. This whole movement now of what's going on.
And definitely, because like, I mean, it's like you said, I mean, it doesn't just stem to Obama. It was Bush was part of it as well. Bill Clinton was part of it.
Absolutely.
Was part of it, I mean, left or right wing, people kind of, it doesn't really make a difference. It's all the same thing, So Trump coming out as independent, that wasn't a politician, really kind of helped spark the whole thing,
Yeah. It also goes to say that in the comic also too, because you were looking at it also too as well from like the perspective of people looking at it and seeing this whole battle going on, and even the media jumping in to go and help out Hillary Clinton.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was because, like, I mean, when I watched the second debate, they were so blatant about it, like literally like interrupting like mid sentence, and like every time Trump would bring us something about Hillary Clinton, they'd like, oh, we got to like switch the question. I was because me and my friend watching that debate like at like 3 a.m. or something, we're just like, what a load of crap. Like every time Trump says something about like the emails, they just start cutting in on like, oh, we had to change the topic, because trying to like manipulate public opinion. It was just so blatant. Like, so I was like, I gotta put that in there. Like, there's no way I can let that slide.
Yeah, and then I love that part with because you'd be in jail and just like blows everything away.
Yeah,
That was
man.
fantastic.
I mean, that I got that scene because I mean, again, that comic was me practicing kind of to make comics. So I mean, that scene was basically pulled from One Piece. In One Piece, there's a scene where Luffy he punches one of like the noble like high people,
Right.
and then it's very very well done. Like he just walks up, he's like just punching the straight across the face, and like it was really good scene, very well animated. So I was like, man, oh my God, I want to put that in there, the comic, just again because it was cool. It's the anime reference, and again, it was just me for practice. It was just me practicing how to make, learning from the animator, learning from the mangaka, and developing that, so I could later on put on more original, things out there.
Right. Yeah, I love the whole piece. So I mean, it seems like everybody loved it also too as well. I mean, it went on the front page of our all, from the Donald, and of course now the Donald's being censored, but that's a whole different story entirely, and hopefully that starts to change as well, and just shows people the reality of what the mainstream is doing to conservatives and to other people who
Yeah,
support Trump.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
it's the usual thing, if you're not with us, you're against us type thing. That's
yeah.
the way it is with the leftist narrative.
Yeah, it's terrible, and now it's come out in the open. So now with this, I mean, you left the whole thing in the cliffhanger. Are you going to be doing more in this series? That's what people love to know. Are you going to be doing more with adding more people such as Nigel Farage and Marine Le Pen, Norbert Hofer, and the rest of some of the nationalist, anti-establishment candidates around the world?
Yeah, it won't be about the other candidates actually, but I mean, seeing how popular the Trump comic became, I definitely saw an opportunity to kind of use that as a first project to make more and draw a bigger fan base and put my name out there as a comic maker. My ultimate goal, my dream is to make comics, of various topics, not just political, but many different things. Because me and my friend have many things planned out. We're actually going to go and do other things in the future, other stuff. But seeing the popularity of the Trump comic, really said, what, we should definitely put everything else on hold and do a comic about Donald Trump, which we had kind of thought about in the past and we weren't too sure about. But seeing the overwhelming like positive reception for us, like, what, let's go ahead and make something very very good. That's very well written, very well drawn, very professional. And the idea is we're gonna make a comic basically about the Donald Trump, the entire campaign from beginning to end. So we're gonna do it from starting from when Trump walks down the stairs and announces his candidacy. When he's running for president.
Oh
Excuse me,
wow.
and then end it toward the end where once he wins the victory, and we've already begun writing the whole thing. We've got the first 5 chapters kind of already written, and I'm gonna start storyboarding them tomorrow actually. And we're going through different arcs and stuff. We're gonna have different politicians and the characters, from both the Democrats and Republicans, and it'll be very good. I'm actually very excited to work on that, to be honest, because there's just so much we're gonna put in there, and we've fleshed out a lot more. My friend's a terrific writer. The guy's he's from London. He's won several awards, as a writer, and I have a lot of confidence in his ability, and we both kind of work really well together.
Oh wow.
He's kind of the guy who takes my work, says, "Oh man, like you can improve this in your art and that." So we work really well together, So it'll be our first kind of taste for people to see like what we can do as comic makers, and also an opportunity for me to kind of grow and develop my art style as an artist and continue to learn to make better comics and stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely we got more stuff coming down the pipeline. The first chapter of the Trump series should be coming out around the time of Trump's inauguration. That's the idea. We're gonna put up a simple website, have it free to read for everybody online, and it'll be cool.
All right, definitely, yeah, and we'll share that also here on too as well. And if anybody wants to check Ivan's work as well, we're gonna put his links also too in the description below. We're also gonna put a link to the book that he just put now is the Debattle, the second debate, the whole thing. You can get it all in paperback, and I'll also be doing a giveaway also too as well that you can get one of the books as well. And all you have to do is just comment on here, giving either suggestions for our channel or any suggestions for Ivan and his team of doing the whole Trump manga series also too as well. And as you heard, it's going to be coming out pretty soon next year, so get ready for that. We'll put the link to that and everything else. All right, well, Ivan, you have any last words of anything for the audience?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big thank you to all of them. I was very very flattered and by all their positive support. You know, I never expected the comic to kind of blow up the way it did. It was very taken back by it. You know, it's very humbling to see people's positive reception for it, and to me, it was very like it felt very nice to see people with passion for not just Donald Trump, but also my work as an artist, and they're trying to push that. Say, oh, this is really good, man. You know, it really motivates kind of give more to the community, give more to people. Say, you know, what, I'm gonna work even harder now and make even better stuff for you guys because I definitely wanna. I like making stories. I like doing this kind of stuff and seeing people's like reactions to it. It's really cool and stuff. You know, so I look forward to making more, putting more content out there for everybody to enjoy. You know, it's basically my goal.
Yeah, all right. That is fantastic, man. We can't wait. And again, if everybody, we're gonna do the giveaway of the book here, and this is Ivan's book is also on Amazon as well. We have the link in the description below. We'll also be doing the giveaway as well. Again, if you want to participate in the giveaway, comment here any suggestions for me or Ivan or what to do with the channel with the book as well. And again, like and subscribe. We're going to be putting out more information for the whole Trump revolution going on around the world because we're just getting started here. This is just the beginning. All right, well, Ivan, thank you so much for doing this, and we'll hope to see you again, and good luck with everything that you're doing, and we'll hope to see the comic. I'm going to be the first one to get it once it comes out on Amazon, so send me that link, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me, man. It's been great,
Of course, it's been a pleasure right here. All right, same to you as well, all right? Take care, all right, man?
Okay, man, you too.
All right, see you soon.